Hey, it's Wesley from Follow Up Genius with my co-host,
Steven.
And today we are going to be talking about retargeting and remarketing ads. And if you don't know what those are, you should definitely stick around.
Creepy ads, the ones that follow you around. Creepy ads, I call them.
I call them wonderful ads.
Welcome to the Follow Up Genius Show, a show dedicated to helping real estate agents find their fortune in follow-up by creating stronger relationships, generating more referrals, and converting more leads. Hosted by Wesley Rocha, founder and CEO of LinkU, and Steven Groders, real estate entrepreneur and high-performance coach. Follow us at followupgenius.net.
So today, can you tell everybody what remarketing and retargeting is?
Yes,
Please?
remarketing, retargeting. One of my favorite types of ads. Basically, when you are browsing around the internet, okay, and maybe you're shopping for something and you come across it, maybe you leave, and then you start seeing that ad on other websites, other websites,
Follows you around.
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Yeah, it basically is following you around. That is retargeting.
Yes. I call it remarketing. Because you're basically remarketing.
It's
these
literally
people
both.
over
It
and
literally
over.
is both. So the term is interchangeable. So retargeting, remarketing is the same thing.
Yep.
Pretty much. So that's what we're going to be talking today, and we're going to be talking about how maybe you can consider using that in your business or for yourself to help to essentially stay top of mind of your prospects, past clients, and give you a better chance at closing more leads.
Yeah. So we talked about this earlier. There's really 4 major industries that are really, really good at retargeting. Hotels, travel industry, anything with fashion, shoes, clothes, like Banana Republic, Express. I get stuff from those guys all the time.
Yep.
Right? Who's the master at remarketing and retargeting?
Amazon?
Oh, boy.
These guys?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if they're listening in, they're going to send you ads. By the way.
No.
They're not going to?
Everyone denies the claim.
Right.
But it still feels like it. But
I know it,
Facebook and everyone still denies that they're listening.
So how
show
can
you
remarketing and retargeting help an agent?
Well, I always think if you're buying traffic, it can help you. But I say especially if you are spending money on ads, or you are highly ranked on a website, or you're doing pay-per-click or anything with money on ads or marketing or effort, or you have traffic in any way, you absolutely need to be retargeting.
Yeah.
Because when people come to your website, 98% don't actually take action.
Well, many of them don't have a pixel set on their website to begin with.
I mean, as far as
I call it a pixeled prospect. You hear me say that all the time.
Yeah, but I'm saying the visitors, they don't even take action. And so what Steven's talking about when he says a pixeled prospect, what that means is all these different ad providers, ad platforms, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, you name it, right? Any ad platform, web, online type of ad platform, they give you, if you set up an ad account, like in your Facebook ad account, a lot of you guys may have Facebook ad accounts. If you go in there, you're going to find, I think it's under pixels, but you'll find your ad manager that you can get the pixel. It's a little piece of code, like a little web snippet. You need to take that, you need to send it to your web person and put it on your website.
Yeah.
And so that it's global. So it basically fires or triggers on every page. That's what you want to do. And that's what did you call it?
Pixel.
A pixeled what?
Prospect.
A pixeled prospect. And that's
So,
what they're
here's a really good example. I just did some shopping for a gift for somebody, and I was looking for a particular item on Amazon, right? About a couple hours later, I go through Instagram. There's the same product I was looking for on my Instagram feed. It got me to buy a pair of Jordans, which I'll probably never buy another
So
pair again,
one big problem that I see with whether it be businesses or agents who do implement retargeting is they're kind of expecting, and there's also confusion.
Oh boy.
They believe, or maybe they're not, maybe it's not clear that retargeting is just the audience, just the people who got pixel.
Yeah.
They're not like when you do targeting on Facebook, for example, you're picking like people who are interested in buying a home or people interested in Zillow. It's behavioral, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or demographics and all that kind. That's targeting.
Right.
Retargeting is just your own people, your audience, your contact list, your website visitors. On Facebook, it could be people who watched, visited not visited, but liked or interacted with your business page, watched a video from your business page, how long they watched the video on your Facebook page. Same thing with YouTube. If you do any kind of YouTube, anyone out there, if you're doing, you can set up retargeting on how long someone's watched the video or which videos, things like that.
Yep. Based on time.
Yeah. So people get kind of confused, but as long as you realize that is what the audience is, that's what retargeting is, then now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, the next challenge is agents or businesses just in general, they'll give up on retargeting really fast. And that's because they're like, well, I'm not seeing anything for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months go by, especially if you just started building your audience or retargeting out, so it's kind of small. It's like, I'm not seeing anything from it. Nobody's filling out a form. Nobody's calling. I'm not getting leads.
Well, it's not what it's designed for.
Right. Eventually.
Eventually they're going to call.
Yeah.
But it goes back to understanding your data. Only 3% of online leads convert. The other 97% need to be nurtured with content of value or softly retargeted with a dynamic ad, just keeping you top of mind.
Right. Just so they remember.
They just remember. That's all
your
that you
name.
want. Yeah,
and
exactly.
that you especially. And so here's what I try and explain to people. I say, look, there's so many benefits, but I'll go through just a couple. Okay, the first example that's really good is if you are doing follow-up emails, texts, maybe you leave a voicemail here and there, postcards, whatever you're doing, and you have kind of a decent brand where you're remaining consistent with your brand. Well, guess what? On your retargeting ads, if you have, again, maintain consistency, what's going to happen is this. And let me ask you a question first. Let me ask you and the audience. If you get a car, let's say a Toyota Camry white, do you notice something on the road all of a sudden?
It's your reticular activator. It's
Exactly.
a portion in right here in the back of your mind. It heightens your awareness in certain situations. We're going to do a show coming up, how to get 4 referrals for every 1 transaction.
Yeah.
It's because people don't know how to program people.
Right.
They just expect. If you go and you look at some of the reviews from Zillow, right? If you look at the bad ones, yeah, the guy put me in escrow or gal put me in escrow and never heard back from them. That's the most important time.
Right.
Is when they're in process. Right? That's your reticular activator is what you're talking about.
So when you get that white Camry and now all of a sudden you're like, damn it, everybody has freaking white Camrys. Anything like that, right? It's your RAS, reticular activation system, just like you said.
Right.
So look at it this way. You got your retargeting ads going around. People are seeing it. An email pops up in the mailbox. The name. Oh, that sounds familiar for some reason.
I know Groot.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe they don't know initially, but it sounds familiar.
Exactly.
Now they get a postcard. Oh, this looks familiar,
right?
And over time, it all starts connecting. So that's one piece. That's top of mind. And now when you call, hey, it's blah blah. Oh yeah. Now hopefully they're putting the name to the face because it sounds familiar. Or maybe they see it on the caller ID. Like, I don't know why, but this name sounds familiar. I'm going to answer it.
This number keeps coming up because you got to call 6 to 8 times.
Not only that, but they've been seeing your ads, so they see the name, right? So retargeting can be a long-term game, and then once you build your audience, and it takes time to do that, you have to build your audience pretty large. I tell people,
audience. Let me interrupt you.
Yeah,
they call audiences in the digital world farms in the real estate world. So when you're building up your farm or your community,
well, farm though would be not retargeting though, because A farm are people in a neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're in a neighborhood and they don't necessarily know, they don't know you. They haven't like gone to your website. You're reaching out to them, right? So that would be cold traffic.
Kind of. Well, again, it just depends on the type of realtor you are. You know,
True.
I'm a data collection freak. And in our marketplace, we have every single address, every single phone number, because we've collected this stuff over years.
Now, like voluntarily, they gave it to you.
No,
Yeah, so that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So,
Right.
so the difference, and this is something actually that needs to be understood, is that is a different type of data, and you could still use it in retargeting.
Yes.
There's definitely a category for that, but you're not going to text somebody out of the blue on a
Right.
farm, right? You would text someone in your database, but what I was going to say is when it comes to your retargeting audience, people who, and there are two categories. So to clarify, you can farm cold stuff, not in all platforms.
Right.
Some are restrictive. On Facebook, I believe you can farm, like if you have data that you have, I believe, check the terms of service, you can use it. But if you're just using your audience, which you've built through your pixeled audience, website visitors, Facebook interactions, all that stuff, what I was going to say is once that gets larger, what you'll find is that lead, that purchase, that conversion, those will become the cheapest conversions that you've probably ever had in your life.
I was talking to a guy last week, and we haven't had a chance to talk about this, but you know where retargeting works the most powerful if you're buying any online leads? Home value leads.
Oh, yeah.
Home value leads. So somebody goes in, clicks on the home value, right? And then a couple hours later, they're on Facebook. Would you like to know what a buyer would pay for your house as a retargeting ad?
Yeah.
Right? So now they've clicked on the home values, they've provided you information, and now they see your retargeting ad. Would you like to know what a buyer would pay for your house? Or we've made selling simple. There's a multiple different ways you can retarget people. Again, it's just being height of mind.
Yeah.
That's where retargeting and remarketing comes into play.
And leveraging it.
And leveraging it. Like you can get a whole, you can do like 2,000 people in a retargeting campaign for like $30.
Yeah.
Or like even 15.
Yeah, you can.
So
You can. So it's really inexpensive because you're just targeting
Yeah.
your own personal audience.
So let's take your sphere, which 99% of y'all don't touch anyways, but in the event you do touch it, you take it, you create an audience in Facebook, right? You want to send a postcard, a holiday postcard to all 500 of the people in your SOI, you can do that for like 10 or 15 bucks.
Right,
on
do a
Facebook.
retargeting ad.
Do a retargeting ad, and it goes to your specific people.
Right. As long as it matches, Facebook, what it will do is when you upload the list, it'll take all the information and then use its AI and match them up.
And cross.
Now, if you're wondering, like, Facebook's not going to go, have you ever been somewhere and you started saying, oh, let me find you on Facebook, and you search and they're always like the first or second result?
Yeah.
That, like, how does Facebook know that you're trying to add this Amanda to your Facebook friends?
Exactly.
It knows
Because they're
because
listening in.
even though you're strangers, it knows because, I have this person, they're in the same vicinity as you.
Based on behaviors.
You know,
again.
you guys have all these different, like it compares thousands of different things in common, and that's how it, if you're typing Amanda, you're probably talking about this one, and then boom, she's either the first, second, third result. And you're like, oh, is this you? You're like, yeah, first one. Just start AM, boom.
Right. And the same thing goes if you're a realtor. Right?
Yeah.
If you're doing a really nice job with retargeting and remarketing, because not only Facebook and Instagram, let's not forget about the most powerful search engine there is Google.
Yeah.
You can retarget, remarket 2 million different websites for like how much? $25 a month or something?
Yeah, that's called the Google Display Network.
Exactly.
You can use the Google Display Network. So if you see banners on like Wall Street Journal, you see them on, they're even on many real estate
Better
sites,
Homes
bloggers.
and Gardens, Zillow. Like I
All-
saw a retargeting ad on Zillow from an agent. Like, how did they ever let that in?
Yeah, usually they
Right?
try and filter those out.
Exactly.
But yeah, tons of the home improvement, decorating, all that stuff, your retargeting ads will show. Also, sometimes if your competitors are using like free blogs and free sites and things, sometimes you'll see your ad on their site just because they're using free stuff or they're not, I've had agents put banners, like they don't know what they're doing, just put banners on their site because they want to offset their hosting costs. And then they'll call complaining like, hey, why are you advertising this agent on our site? Like, what are you talking about?
Like you did it.
It's like, no, you must have visited that person's site, came back to yours, and now you're seeing her retargeting ad.
Right, exactly. But there's very few of those out there.
Oh, yeah. There's very few. So you can retarget on Google Display Network. You can actually retarget search results on Google. A lot of people don't know that. And
Yeah, called keyword searches, right?
Yeah, so well, just like Google normal keyword searches, you can actually retarget so that your bid, you can increase the bid of those keywords if they're in your retargeting audience.
Right.
So you normally like, I don't want to be at number one, but if they visited my website and they're maybe watched the video, I want to be number one if they search need a realtor.
Yeah. Or thinking of selling my house.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's just making people aware.
Yep.
Because if you don't know this stuff exists, you may see it and you don't realize you actually have access to do it yourself for your own business.
Yeah.
Well,
you don't know what you don't know.
And that's what the whole point of this episode is about, right? Is exposing you to that stuff. And so with that, with the YouTube retargeting, those would basically be the videos, obviously, would come up with your face, your shiny, smiling face.
Right. And if you don't like to do video, then it's not going to work for you on YouTube.
Yeah, or you can use something else with a brand or whatever. But, I mean, it goes on and on. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, you can retarget on Twitter. You can retarget on LinkedIn. You can retarget on Pinterest. You can retarget on... And, honestly, some of these are smaller platforms. So if that's your audience, retargeting on some of these platforms might make sense because there's even less people, even less competition on these platforms. You can retarget with Amazon. I'm checking into that one, though, on where that would make sense for an agent.
Sure.
I have some ideas, but maybe we'll save that for another time.
Maybe tiny homes, the little manufactured home they got. That would be good.
Yeah.
If you need someone to find a piece of property.
But I believe that retargeting is going to grow into things like your TV ads.
They already are. Remember, I was talking
Radio
to you a couple
ads,
weeks ago.
things like
Hulu. I use Hulu at home. How does Hulu know that I'm looking for a new Toyota? So, like, 50% of the ads.
Are you seeing Toyota ads?
Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of specifically the model that I'm looking for. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so there probably is, and some of this stuff is only available to the bigger brands initially.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because it's so expensive right now.
I have imagined driving down the road and seeing billboards retargeted to me.
They already have that with Waze.
I can see that in the future.
Or Waze. What's that driving
app?
Oh, yeah.
Waze. So on the Waze ad, the Waze app, that's a map application. You can place ads. I haven't checked into retargeting with that. It may be possible. If so, you would basically show up for driving directions. That could work for agents.
It does, because what it does is when somebody pops by a house, right, they're driving through, they're trying to eliminate some traffic and they're going through a back street. If you do a real estate ad on Waze or Wave or whatever it is.
It's Waze, yeah.
Waze, an ad pops up, hey, this house is for sale.
Yeah.
Like right when they're passing by it. Yeah, I mean, the power of digital marketing today, if you get a good agency that knows what they're doing, and there's a lot of people out there that, you want thousands and thousands of leads. The last guest we had, Javier, he doesn't have a lead problem. He's got a follow-up problem.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people think I need more leads, I need more leads, I need more leads. Really, you don't. You just need better follow-up.
Yeah. So if you have a good number of stream of leads, now you think about, well, instead of buying more leads, how can I essentially lower my lead costs by getting leads to re-engage?
Well, how you re-engage them is through retargeting and soft ads of value.
Exactly. That brings down your lead costs, brings down your overall conversion costs over time. And it's a little bit of ad cost, but it's dollars, and it's very inexpensive because, again, the audience is so small.
So, our team, we spend a lot of money on Zillow, right? I don't quite understand how someone can spend $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month in one, not call them back, but secondly, not retarget or remarket those people.
Exactly.
Because we spend so much. It's $175 a click at Zillow.
Yeah. So why would you not retarget these people you've paid for, essentially? Yeah. They should all be added to an audience. Let Facebook try and match them up. Like, hey, please match these.
And they will. Mm-hmm. They will, based on behaviors.
No, on the retargeting, it would be contact details.
Contact details. Yeah. But like if you're doing a new ad, right, it's based on suggested behaviors. But Anyways,
Yeah,
I
you can target, you can layer your retargeting audience. So if you're like, yeah, but what if I'm just building this big audience, but they're not interested in buying or selling? You can put layers. Like if your audience gets big enough, what Groot says, you could basically layer it. So of your retargeting audience, you have your big audience. You could add layers of like, but I only want the people interested in Zillow from my retargeting audience, or only the people interested in Trulia. But I usually don't recommend doing that unless you have, tens of thousands.
They got to
of
be
people.
detailed too. Most agents aren't that detailed. I mean, some of the bigger teams are that more intricate, but at the end of the day,
even then, most
they
aren't.
really shouldn't be doing this stuff themselves, anyways. So as we were talking about, the power of remarketing and retargeting based on the initial ad that you run, like the home values, for example. If you run consistently, let's say you spend a couple $100 a month on home values leads,
sure,
right? Which some agents do, some agents don't. Who cares? But if you spend a couple $100 a month on those home value leads, why not spend another $10 or $15 a month in retargeting those same people you paid for originally?
Big time.
So if you do a whole year of retargeting just on seller leads, it's going to cost you $150. It's cheap.
Oh yeah.
Really, really cheap.
Right. And so really what is happening is you really start thinking, okay, now that you see how the conversions are the lowest cost that they're going to be for retargeting, the biggest problem you run into is, how do I get this audience freaking bigger?
Yeah, well, it's data collection. It's not collecting leads. It's like...
No, but how do you get your audience bigger?
Well, you run a property promotion is one way, right? Because agents haven't quite realized, consumers shop for a house. They don't shop for an agent.
True.
So if you do a property promotion, like I think the last one we did for a gal in Northern California, a couple hundred leads. That's data collecting.
Yeah.
Now for the next year, how long can you pixel somebody on Facebook? A year?
I believe it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's over 6 months for sure.
Right.
240 days or something.
Exactly.
I do have a webinar. We'll post the link display on the video so you could see it. If you're interested to learn more about retargeting and just a little more of the detail there, feel free to check that out.
The new age of follow-up.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's really what it is the new age of follow-up.
It really is.
And I don't know if you talked about the Ultimate Follow-Up Machine.
No.
You should put a little ultimatefollowupmachine.net plug in there.
.com.
ultimatefollowupmachine.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's a powerful platform that does all that work for you.
Right.
And especially you doing any online lead stuff, right? The automation is going to it's just going to help you out tremendously.
Yeah. And we even have we actually came out with packages for the retargeting as well for those people who are buying on leads, and we'll actually put together Facebook, Instagram, Google Display Network, and YouTube retargeting for them.
Perfect.
And handle all that. But
perfect.
Anyway, I guess that's my plug for the day for the ultimatefollowupmachine.com by LinkU. And thank you for listening. If you're listening, or watching if you're online watching this. And that is this episode of Follow Up Genius. Remember, for show notes, any other details, any of the extra bonus content is at followupgenius.net. It's free to become a member, so do join and don't miss any future episodes.
And just one last thing, do not forget this. Follow up and follow up fast. Follow back to someone fast. If you say you're going to do something, follow back, right? And follow people around. Follow up, follow back, follow around. And follow them around is basically retargeting and remarketing, just like we talked about.
Definitely. All right. Well, that's all for us today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Follow Up Genius Show. Get the show notes and discover our fantastic bonus member-only content when you become a Follow Up Genius member. Join today free at followupgenius.net. The Follow Up Genius Show is sponsored by LinkU.